Hi, and welcome to the new episode of Learn with Kamze. And today's topic is the revolt of 1857, its causes. So the revolt of 1857 forms as one of the most important chapters in the history of India's struggle for liberation from the British. The revolt started as a severe outburst of anger and discontent enumerated in the hearts of various sections of Indian society since the inception of the British rule in Bengal. And the British historians tried to dismiss by merely calling it as Sepoy Mutiny. On the other hand, the Indian historians hold the view that it was the first war of independence, and I strongly believe and agree with the view given by the Indian historians because this was the first time that the Hindus and the Muslims came together, leaving aside their religious thing. They came together as one nation, as one community to fight the invincible power of the British paramountcy from India. So I believe that I support the Indian historians' view about it as the first war of independence. And yeah, it did not happen overnight. There are so many causes that led to the outbreak of the revolt of 1857. We have first the political causes. So when we talk about the political causes, it is important to mention about the policy of annexation introduced by Lord Dalhousie, that is the doctrine of lapse. So under this policy, if the king did not have his original son, means his throne will be taken away by the British. So under this policy, the last Peshwa, Bajirao's son, Nana Sahib, did not get his father's pension. And even Rani Lakshmi Bai's adopted son did not get the throne of his father. And the matter became more worse when Lord Dalhousie announced in 1849 that he will not allow Bahadur Shah Zafar to stay in Red Fort, and he compelled him to run away and stay near Qutb Minar. And there was also an annexation of Oudh, Jhansi, Nagpur, and many other places through this policy. Again, the myth about the superiority of the British began to decline after the First Afghan War, when they were beaten and defeated. And this led to gain some confidence among the Indian soldiers, and they began to fight for the. And also there was a feeling among the people that after the revolt of 1857, the British Raj would come to an end. This was emanated by the fact that the Battle of Plassey was fought in 1757, which gave rise to the British rule in India. And they believed that after 1 century, 1857 war would lead to the end of the British paramountcy from India. So that was the general feeling people have. Let's talk about the military causes. The East India Company was formed with the help of Indian soldiers. But the Indian soldiers were poorly paid, and all the higher ranks were reserved by the British soldiers. And even the Indian soldiers who were in high rank in their native states were found in a low place under the British and under the East India Company. And there was no hope of receiving allowance, and there was no retirement age. The worst thing is the introduction of the new rifle creased with the fat of cows and pigs, which hurts the sentiments of the Hindus and Muslims. So these are the military causes. Talking about the socio-religious causes, Indians were fearfully suspicious that all of them would be converted to Christianity, because the Christian missionaries' activities were so intense, and they were openly against the customs and traditions of the Indian. And economic causes, it was a time when the industrial revolution was taking place in England, and they have their own textile industries. So they were all scattered in the world searching for the raw materials, and India became one of their victims. India became the mere supplier of raw materials, and there was a train of wealth from India. They also confiscated some lands from the landlords and zamindars, which hurt the sentiments of the farmers, the landlords who revolt against them. And thousands of soldiers who were employed by the native states became jobless when the states were annexed by the British. So that was also the another causes that led to the outbreak of the revolt of 1857. We have the immediate causes. The immediate causes was the introduction of the new Enfield rifle, which is greased with the fat of cows and pigs. So the soldiers have to bite it before it is loaded. It hurt the sentiments of the Hindus and Muslims because the cow is a sacred animal for Hindus. And so at Barakpur near Calcutta, Mangal Pandey, an Indian soldier, shot dead his officer, and eventually he was arrested and hanged, and this became the immediate causes of the revolt of 1857. In the next video, we will talk about the main events, the result of the revolt of 1857 and its failures. So stay tuned. Thank you.